So, welcome back to Nick and Michael podcast. Fortunately for you, this is the first episode. So, we're going to talk about our first impression in Greece, how our first year was like, and let us know if you have any questions. So, Nick, how was your first year? Let's say your first impression.
Well, actually, the first time I came to Thessaloniki, I hated it. I came with my school, because in Cyprus we have school field trips to Greece, like once towards the end of high school. And they brought us here, and I hated it. I don't know, I really didn't like it, because, I can't even really give you a reason as to why I didn't like it. But when I applied for it and I came here, I don't know, I fell in love instantly. And it was more like it felt more like home. And I was a bit worried that I would be quite homesick. And I didn't want to leave Cyprus when I was leaving, but it felt more like a advanced version of home. There was more opportunities, there was more life, there was better food, much cheaper.
Yeah, much cheaper.
Much cheaper too.
Actually, if you compare it to Vietnam, then it's actually more expensive, but I think compared to European standards, it's better for sure. Yeah, like when I first came here, because of the situation back then, when I left Vietnam, it was like the peak of COVID. It was horrible.
Yeah.
Like we would have had like lockdowns, and the only reason you could go out is to pick up, let's say, food or like some delivery, like essentials. That's the only reason that you can get out of your house. And it was horrible. Like I was so scared that I wasn't gonna be let go like by the government or whatever forces.
In Cyprus, the sun is way worse, and it's added because you get a lot of dust coming in from the Middle East. And with that dust, and there's also a lot of humidity, because it's an island, it just adds to this sticky heat that eventually just makes you feel like you can't do anything throughout the day. The difference with the sun here is that there isn't a lot of humidity.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's more just pure sunlight.
Yeah.
And it's quite nice.
Actually, it's the same with Vietnam. Like in Vietnam, your skin in the summer is always sticky. Like not with sweat. It's like the humidity in the air.
Yeah.
And also, the worst thing about it is we have so much traffic and vehicles on the road.
Yes.
It makes the road like 40, 50 degrees easily.
Yeah.
Which is a horrible experience if you are like at 12 and you are riding your bicycle on the road. It's just deadly, I would say.
There are much bigger differences, at least with you, regarding your first impressions when you first came to Greece, because I mean, Vietnam to Europe.
Yeah.
Me, I was already technically in Europe.
Yeah.
So it's not that big of a difference. But we will get onto this later as to the mentality of perhaps the Cypriots growing up in Cyprus, the mentality being vastly different, even though ethnically a lot of them are Greek. But it's much more different. But for you, it was a much bigger difference. Culture shock, kind of.
No, it's not a culture shock. It's just
Wasn't.
Something nice. I mean, the sun. It's a nice thing. Yeah, I mean, it's so shocking a bit, but it's still nice. In your first year, was there any kind of, let's say, super struggle that you had in terms of daily-wise? Or something that, in the first few days, that really struggled you?
I was afraid that I wouldn't be able to speak Greek that fluently, even though I grew up in Cyprus where they speak Greek, but it's not the same because the Cypriot dialect is completely different from normal Greek, let's say. So it was, I was a bit scared to use that dialect as opposed to learning better Greek.
But I mean, like, when you actually speak it, do you feel like you're different or something? Like, did it feel
when
bad?
I speak what?
Like Greek, let's say.
Greek.
Yeah.
No, I actually feel much better now because I've tried to get in touch with the communities here, like try to speak like how they speak, and I found out it's just much easier for me to speak like that.
Yeah.
Rather than trying to speak Cypriot Greek.
Yeah, actually, that's good.
Yeah, it's much easier.
Well done.
So.
Yeah.
What about you, actually? The difference in, I mean, what did you struggle with? Because you must have struggled with the language to some level.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of language, to be honest, I would say that I did not struggle that much. I mean, like, the way you struggle with the way I struggle is completely different. Because for me, when they see me, they would be talking to me in English, like, immediately. Like, they wouldn't even try to be like, Kalimera, blah, 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 you know, like, they would be like, oh, good morning, how are you? How can I help you? Something like that. So for me, it's quite friendly and it's quite easy to, let's say, ease into the life of a student here. Yeah. And the thing I was struggling with is actually the bureaucracy here. You know what happened to me in the first year? Like, for example, my house, like my apartment, was easy thing because my mom found it before I came here. So that part was easy. But for me to get internet into the house, you don't know how long it took. Like,
yeah, I remember you trying to get internet in the house
it took
going
so
there.
long. And like, you know why? The reason is, in Greece, in order to have internet in your house, okay, like a line into your house, you have to have a thing called AFIMI, which is basically a tax number. And in order to get a tax number, you have to prove, first of all, that you are here legally, and then you have to have a bank account first.
Yeah.
To have a bank account, you need to wait for about a week for them to verify that you're a student here and you have money here.
That's a bit funny because I didn't need a bank account.
I mean, you're European. I needed a bank account.
Oh,
I needed a bank account to have the AFIMI. Yeah. So that took a bit of time. So it's like a week after week, weeks after week. Every week I get one thing done, and like, I think the school year started from October. I was here from September, and I didn't have internet until, let's say, December or something. Like, I remember I paid my first bill after the New Year.
Oh yeah, you did. I remember.
Yeah, I paid my first bill after the New Year. So just keep in mind that it is gonna take time, and like, I would say that it's no one's fault. I mean, like, it's a thing that has been happening here for a long time, and you're not the exception. So just be aware that it's gonna take you time.
Although if you did decide to actually come here, the offices, the international office tries to really help you.
Yeah, actually
they
are very helpful now.
Yeah, they are quite helpful.
Yeah, they're very helpful. I think I owe it to the lady and the gentleman there. They always help me with everything I needed. Mostly, if I open my mouth to ask, they're gonna help me. Like, for example, I did my brace here.
Yes.
Yeah,
did.
like what I did was I went to the office and I asked the lady. Her name is Liana. She was very nice about it. She introduced me to her cousin, and like, I had my brace done and everything. Of course, I had to pay for it. It's not free here, but I wasn't expecting it. But I mean, like, even the personal thing that you want to, you could ask them, which is really nice, and they're very genuine about it. They're not like judgy or anything, which is a very good thing, I would say.
This is another impression that I had with Greece when I first came here and started living here. I noticed that the people were a lot more open to speak about more genuine things, and it really makes you feel like you're welcomed to some level, I guess. It's not for everyone. It depends also how much work you're willing to put into interacting with Greek people.
Yeah.
But yeah, they are the most open people I've been around. The most, at least. Cypriots don't, like, when I was living in Cyprus, I didn't feel this kind of openness with people. They were more closed off than Greek people, at least.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Although you did say before that she recommended, like, a cousin Yeah, this is a very normal thing. Oh, I will recommend, oh, I have a cousin, I have a brother, I have a uncle who does this. Yeah, he can take care of you, she can take care of you. It's a very common thing.
For me, it's a very nice thing because it's like they're opening to me, like they're introducing their family, like in a way, like they're not very shy about it. Like even though we're in medical school, she could have referred it to like just go to dental school and find one, something like that. Like she could have done it, but she sent me directly to the one that she knows that is experienced and has been doing it for a long time, something like that. So I think it was very nice of her, to be honest.
Yes.
Yeah. Talking about those things, there's another thing I really like about Greece is the student privileges. Students are very prioritized here, and they are so privileged. You know, before I came here, my mom told me that here people try not to get out of school. People try to stay in university so they can earn their rights to certain things that once you are regarded as adults, you're not getting those anymore. I would say, for example, the first thing that came into my mind is, let's say, the bus ticket discount. Like, for me, if I go to other places, I'll get like 25% discount. If I go back to Thessaloniki, I'll get 50% discount.
Yeah, you get, and this is applicable, let's say you're in Athens. Yeah, you can get a 50% discount. Normally the price is around like 30...
60.
60, really?
Yeah, it is 60.
When?
60 per one way.
I've taken buses that are like 30 going there.
Yeah, that's because you took the discount.
No, I think before without the discount it was like 40, something like that. And with the discount it was like 20.
Really?
Yeah.
For me it's like 30 with the discount.
Well, that's still very cheap because I was speaking to a few of the first year students. Just some context. We're recording this at the beginning of our third year.
Yeah.
So I'm making it clear that the New Year's have joined.
Yeah.
So I've spoken to a few of them, especially a few from England. And they were telling me that, let's say, going from, I believe, Manchester to London was like £150, somewhere around there. Yeah. Although don't quote me on this. This isn't specific. I might be mistaken. But yeah, you are right. There are many student privileges. There's also discounts on food.
Yeah, actually,
discounts on...
in our school, there's a thing called leski, which is basically the canteen.
School cafeteria.
Yeah. You know, like for the first 2 years,
it was basically free.
Yeah, it was basically free. Like, we were eating for free only until the war happened.
What do you mean by the war?
The Ukraine war.
Yeah.
Like, until that happened, the food price came up, and they closed up for a bit, and then after that, they restricted the access to leski.
Yeah.
Yeah, so after that, we had to pay. Like, we had to pay. For people who are Greek, they still eat for free if their parents pay tax, like Stella told me.
Yes.
Yeah, but even if I had to pay, I only had to pay €61 per month.
€61 per month.
Which is like nothing for food. Like
breakfast, lunch, dinner included for 3 meals a day, so that's less than €1 per meal.
Yeah, and the portion is quite generous, I would say.
And actually, I mean, you could even go back for seconds if you really want. You can try.
I wouldn't do that because the portion is already too big for me. Like, I don't even eat that much, but yeah, people do that. So I would say that, back to the point, there are a lot of student privileges that we'll be covering along the way. But yeah, that's another big advantage of being here. Well, I mean, we're not doing this for like kind of promotion of Greece, but this is a fact that you should keep in mind.
We do really find this as an opportunity to document what we're doing because we know that, well, someone else is going to do this eventually.
Yeah.
But we want to make this a genuine thing where we show other people who potentially want to become medical students as well, that Greece is open. Greece for the first time is open for you. And because our school started it in Thessaloniki, then the next year Athens made their own, and the year after that Larissa made their own.
No, not Larissa, Crete.
It wasn't Crete,
yeah.
yes, Crete, sorry, my bad. Larissa will make their own, though.
Really?
Yeah, they will. They confirmed it. So our school was the first one to start all of this, and now, yeah, Greece is open to
So
the world,
international.
basically.